I'm going to turn that on now. Okay. And if you're not muted, please do that now. You can unmute throughout the workshop if you'd like to, answer questions or ask questions too. But try to stay muted throughout it so we don't have too many disruptions. Okay. Today we'll have you identify 3 tips to plan what foods you want to put in your pantry to prepare quick meals. We'll also describe how to use a slow cooker to prepare easy and healthy meals. So let's start by considering some tips to make quick and healthy meals at home. We'll start with the first piece of the puzzle, what you want to have in your pantry. So this is going to be covering stocking your pantry. Just real quick, I want to throw it out there. What do you guys think the benefits of having a pantry that's stocked up with staples, or pantry or freezer to have things in there? And you can use a chat box or you can unmute it this time.
So you're not tempted to get delivery or eat out.
Yep, that's a good one. Okay, so filling your kitchen with the right ingredients will help make it easy to get a quick, balanced meal together. And while we go through stocking the kitchen, take note of some of the ingredients so you might have some new ideas to stock up on. So let's start with some quick and healthy items you should consider to have on hand. Whole grain pasta, brown rice, and other grains that your family likes. No salt added vegetables like crushed tomatoes and canned fruit. Canned fruit should be packed in 100% juice or water. Keeping canned beans on hand can be good. And having fresh and dried spices like garlic. Look to buy these non-perishable items on sale. Spices are a great way to add some flavor without a lot of salt. You can find your favorites at the dollar store, grocery store, and they usually have big packages of them that are inexpensive. You can also keep some quick and healthy items to keep in your freezer. Different types of fish and shellfish are good. You just want to stay away from seasoned or breaded fish since it's going to have added sodium and calories.
Yep, 5:30.
Okay. I'm getting a little bit of background, so I'm just going to ask everybody to mute, please.
I wanted a copy of the finding letter for Frau Bauman.
Yeah, she said.
Anyone?
Here.
Any copy, Brendan?
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So lean cuts of meat like chicken breast and ground turkey are another great staple to have in your freezer. I like to buy large packs of fresh meat and freeze it in portions. So when it goes on sale, I'll get the big thing of like chicken breasts and other things like that. And then I just put it into portions that I know my family will eat and freeze it that way. But again, you just want to stay away from ones that are like crispy or deep fried because that's going to have that extra fat and salt in it. Bags of frozen veggies can be quick and healthy meal stretcher. Just be sure to avoid the seasoned and sauce options. Options that have broccoli with like cheese sauce or say creamed spinach or crispy carrots, those are going to have added calories, sodium, and saturated fat. So just get the plain frozen veggies and then you can season them as you want. Bags of frozen fruit are great. Just like veggies, they're frozen at peak freshness. So they're just as nutritious as fresh. These are great to have on hand for a quick grab and go snack. I use them in things like smoothies, yogurt. I put them in oatmeal, pancakes for breakfast, things like that. And during the wintertime, they're great to have around. So let's read through Greg's story. Consider how he puts his pantry, freezer, and leftovers to use. One thing you always find in my pantry is a couple of boxes of whole wheat pasta and cans of no salt crushed tomatoes. I don't like all the added sugar and salt in some of the store's pasta sauces, so I make my own sauce. I add dried oregano, basil, onion, and lots of garlic to the tomatoes. I'll even toss in a bag of frozen veggies and leftover ground turkey from the night before. All right, so let's look at some of the highlights in there. He has whole wheat pasta, so that's one of the staples that we talked about. Cans of no salt crushed tomatoes. He makes his own sauce by using those dried herbs that you like to have on hand. And he's using frozen vegetables and leftover meat to save on time. So let's see what else he has to say. My sauce is nutritious and low in fat, salt, and added sugar. Add a salad, and we have a good meal in less time than it takes to get the kids ready to go to a drive-thru. And it's less expensive. And my sons love this meal. As you can see, the benefits of keeping a stocked pantry include eating healthier, saving time, and saving money. So that's a first step in stocking your kitchen. You want to create a list of ingredients that will go in your pantry and freezer for a couple of quick and easy meals. With that list, you can keep an eye out for sales and stock up on a couple of items at a time, or a meal at a time, like Greg does. Next, you would look to create a list of some fresh weekly items you might need. You may want some eggs, dairy products like low-fat milk, cheese, and yogurt, whole grain bread and wraps, and fresh fruits and vegetables, or 100% juice. Always keep a note on the refrigerator to list items as you need them. You also may want to arrange your shopping list and coupons to fit the layout of the grocery store for a faster shopping trip. Check out the handout, My Shopping List, for a complete list of perishable and non-perishable items to keep on hand. So after this, I have everybody's email. I'll send out all the handouts, and I'll send also a YouTube link for a recording for anybody that wants that. Now that we're stocked up and ready for the week, let's talk about putting those quick and healthy meals together. Plans to use leftover lean protein like chicken with veggies and low-fat cheese to make things like quesadillas and burritos. I can tell you that I have a quesadilla night very often, because by the end of the week, I oftentimes have, half of a pepper at the end of the week, or some leftover chicken that hasn't been eaten, and throwing a quesadilla together, or even a stir fry, are great ways to just take all that leftover stuff. And that way you don't have any waste. Another great idea is to make breakfast for dinner with leftover veggies and some low-fat cheese for a tasty omelet. Make soup with frozen veggies, canned beans, and low-sodium broth. And make no-cook meals like salads, sandwiches, and wraps with vinaigrette dressing and leftover meat. Those types of meals are inexpensive and easy to put together. Using leftovers can help you save time, save money, and eat healthy. Make extra meat large batches of brown rice, or make extra meat when you're cooking. Make large batches of brown rice or whole wheat pasta when you cook it, and or chop up extra vegetables when you're chopping vegetables. We like to say cook while you have time. So anytime you are cooking, try to double up what you're making. So that way you have things for the nights that you don't have time to cook. So now that we started our list and figured out some ways to throw together a quick and healthy meal, dinner can be easy. Let's imagine you just picked up your children from an after-school activity or a long work shift, and they say, hey, what's for dinner? And you have no dinner plans. That happens to all of us. So the drive-thru or pizza delivery may sound like the best option. However, you might want to save takeout meals as a once-in-a-while treat, because they're quick and convenient, but they're often less nutritious and more expensive too. So reimagine that scenario, and you've just walked in the door and you're greeted by the aroma of a tender beef stew simmering in your slow cooker. You slice up some whole wheat bread and toss a simple salad together, and dinner is served. Now you might think, wait, I thought we were talking about quick meals. Well, it cooks for a long time. It is quick to prepare something in a slow cooker like that. And using a slow cooker can be quick, simple, and inexpensive way to prepare meals for you and your family. It saves time because slow cookers usually allow one-step meal prep, and they're also easy to clean up. You only have one pot. They save money because you can use less expensive cuts of meat in the slow cooker and it's going to come out tender. And it uses less electricity than an oven. And during the summertime, when you don't want to turn the oven on, slow cooker can be great. And it helps you eat healthy because you can quickly prepare healthy meals and avoid takeout. If you don't have a slow cooker, you can get one almost anywhere. You might want to consider a couple of things before you purchase. Here's some things to think about. How often are you going to use it? So don't go and get a super fancy one that's expensive if you don't think you're going to use it very often. And also think about the size. That's going to depend on the size of your family and how much you want to cook. A larger one might allow you to make 2 batches and freeze for a smaller family. Or if you do have a big family, a 4 or 6 quart are the most common sizes. Prices can be between $15 to $100. So you really have to think about how you're going to use it. And the most expensive options aren't always the best unless they're ones that you're going to use with it, if they have, or unless you're going to use the features that come along with it. And that's going to be another handout that you'll find in the email when I send after I follow up. In general, when loading your slow cooker, you want to first put veggies in, and then that would be followed by meat, and that's followed by liquid. Unless the recipe states otherwise. Sometimes the recipe will state otherwise, but generally that's how you're going to load your slow cooker. Because most vegetables cook slower than meat and poultry, they're going to want what you want on the bottom. And always make sure the meat is thawed before you put it in. Once your ingredients have been placed in your slow cooker, it should be about 2/3 full. Cooking too little or too much, if you go over that, can screw up the cooking time too, and the quality. And there'll be a couple of recipes that I send you in the email. All right, so now we're gonna watch a video. Make sure that I'm sharing my sound so you guys can hear it. Okay. All right. All right, so that's how to make turkey chili. And you'll notice in that we use frozen vegetables, fresh vegetables, that the turkey came out of the freezer too because it was stored. It was bought in bulk and then stored in a single container. So those are some of the things that we talked about in keeping things stocked up. Roberta, I just saw your question in the chat box. I'm sorry, I was sick last week, so things were a little off. If I didn't send the handouts, I'm sorry, I apologize. I'll send those along with the handouts for this class too. And there wasn't a recording last week. We didn't get it recorded, but there is some handouts. So I'll send both of those out after this class, okay? You're welcome. Okay. So now let's look at Anne's story. Once a week, I make big batches of food in my slow cooker. I chop up lots of vegetables, anything we have on hand. I add skinless chicken breast or lean beef on top. Then I add a can of no salt added tomatoes or some broth with lots of seasoning and herbs. We can get 3 tasty, healthy suppers in less time than it used to make me to cook one meal. I think that last line really says it all, right? And I'd also like to add that's only 1 pot to clean for 3 days. So that's another great thing about the slow cooker. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. We're gonna start talking about making snacks now, but before we do, I'm just gonna give it 1 second in the chat box or on mute. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Okay. So now we've gone over a lot of different ways to save time and money so you can have quick and healthy meals at home. Let's look at ways to make snacks healthy. When you're in a rush or looking for a snack, what are some types of things that you usually reach for? And go ahead and share that in the chat box or feel free to unmute. Nuts, that's a great one. Nuts have healthy fats in them. They fill you up. You don't need a lot of them. Pretzels. Oftentimes we reach for whatever is convenient, which can be high in salt, fat, and sugar. Let's see, fruit like an apple. Yep, that's another good one too. If you plan for your snack, you can better reach your goals for calories and nutrients. So when you're planning out your meals for the week, you want to plan your snacks too. That's something I believe Crystal went over last week while she was filling in for me in the previous lesson. If you weren't here, but it's a good idea to make sure that all of your meals are planned out for the week, including your snacks. For most women and for most adults, actually, it should be 100 to 200 calories for a snack if you're eating in between meals. So that's something to think about. And it's good to have something that's high in fiber and nutrients because most of us don't get enough fiber. So trying to find something that's high in fiber can be a good idea too. Oftentimes we reach for whatever's convenient, which like I said, can be high in salt, fat, and sugar. But you can use My Plate as a reminder to have a healthy eating plan throughout the day, even with snacks. And when you plan for your snack, you can better reach your goals for calories and nutrients. When choosing healthy snacks, you want to include at least 2 of the food groups. So let's come up with some ideas to add to these common snacks. All right, we have some nice celery here that's left over maybe from making some soup. It's all washed and it's ready to go. Does anybody have any ideas on what you could pair up the celery to make sure you're having at least 2, maybe 3 food groups to go with that. Peanut butter hummus. Yep, great. That's a great idea. Both of those are protein sources. Low-fat cream cheese and chives. Yeah, that sounds really good too. Laughing cow cheese. Yeah. So that would get you into the dairy food group. So good examples. I just went with that, you know, good old classic ants on a log. Cheese sticks, that's another good one too. So the ants on a log is, as you can see, is going to give us protein from that peanut butter, which also, like we said earlier, the nuts has some healthy fat in it. So it helps to fill you up too. So that's another good thing about having the nuts or nut butter. And then you have vegetable for celery, and then you have fruit with some of the raisins too. Peanut butter oat bars and yogurt parfaits. Yeah, you know what? That's coming up in our examples too. Yes, some almond butter instead of peanut butter. If you want to change things up, have a couple of different nut butters on hand. Yeah. All right, let's look at our next one. Oops. Okay, we have some, oh, this was another idea for the celery, sorry, is to add a couple of other vegetables with hummus, which I believe somebody said that too earlier. That was one of the first suggestions. So hummus is going to give us the protein. And then we also want to consider eating the rainbow, right? So if you have the celery with some red pepper slices or the carrot like that to go with your hummus, you're getting more nutrients in that snack too. Okay, now let's say you have some frozen berries stocked in your freezer. If we take a handful of those out and let them defrost, what could we eat those with? Yogurt, whole grain cereal and milk, yeah. The whole grain cereal is the grain, and then you've got dairy to go with it. Yogurt for to make a parfait. All right, you guys are on the right track here. That's what I did too. So make a nice little parfait. Take some whole grain granola with those berries and yogurt, and you've got a nice yummy snack. Or even put them in a smoothie, green smoothies. Yeah. You guys are full of good ideas. So with this yogurt parfait, you would end up with dairy, fruit, and grains. I even will put oats sometimes in my smoothie for that green smoothie. I'll put like a half a cup of oats in there too. So that gives me some whole grains to go along with it, and it helps to fill me up a little bit longer. All right. So now we have some whole grain crackers. What's something that we can top off our crackers with? Cheese and olives. Oh yeah, that sounds good. I might have that after this class. That sounds delicious. Cheese or a cheese spread. Yep. Yep, some hummus or avocado. All right, yeah, so let's see, what do we go with here? So we went with some cheese on there, and then maybe a side of fruit too. And that fruit looks really good. It's, you know, again, eating the rainbow. We've got a few different types of fruit in there. So you've got fruit, you got dairy for the cheese, and then you have your grains. So you can see each example that we went through, we put together at least 2 food groups, and most of them have 3. Fruits and vegetables are the most challenging to get into. You're supposed to be eating half of what you eat throughout the day should be fruits and vegetables. So incorporating a fruit or vegetable and then working around that is a great way to make sure you're getting what you need for the day for your snacks. We know that planning for healthy snacks can help satisfy hunger in between meals and keep you moving towards your food group goals. Some other ideas to keep yourself prepared are to build your own snack. Make your own trail mix with pantry items like unsalted nuts, seeds, dried fruit, and popcorn. You can prep ahead to make it easier to choose healthy. Portion snack foods like crackers and vegetables in containers so that when you get home from the store, it's all ready to go. Eat vibrant veggies, put veggies front and center in the fridge for easy snacking. That's a good one to have them kind of sliced if you know you're going to eat them in the next couple of days, and just have them right there. So all you have to do is grab them when you get home, or your kids can grab them when they get home. Snack on the go, be ready to bring snacks with you. An apple, I think somebody said earlier, that's one of my go-tos when I'm going out for the day and I know I'm going to need something that'll keep me from stopping somewhere and getting something that I shouldn't because I'm starving. Just having that apple with you, it's really easy to carry around. So having that fruit out on the counter for everybody to grab is another good way to go. So using the tips we just went over, that'll give you more control over making quick and healthy meals and snack choices at home. But we all know life happens. So when you're in a pinch or it's just one of those days, we could still make some of those healthy choices even when ordering food or eating food outside of our house. A lot of times eating out comes with excess fat and calories that we don't even realize we're consuming. These excess calories and fat can lead to development or worsening effects of chronic diseases such as diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. Many restaurants have calorie or nutrition information available. You can refer to the tips for eating out handout that I'll send you. There's some quick things that we can look for when reading our menus to help us choose a healthier dish. So first up is looking at terms that are found on menu descriptions. So here are some terms that you're going to see on menus. Alfredo, breaded, au gratin, cheese or cheesy, cream or creamy, crispy, baked, boiled, grilled, sauteed, simmered, and steamed. So the ones there are the ones that you want to watch out for. And the ones on the right here are the ones that are going to be generally prepared in a healthier way. So keeping those terms we just went over in mind, we're going to take a look at several menu items to see if we can, at a quick glance, determine which dishes are going to be healthier for us. So first, let's look at some salads. So when you see a salad on a menu, you think that's great. It's going to be healthy, but not all of them are the same. So our first salad has crispy chicken tender salad. Crispy breaded chicken tenders on a bed of fresh greens topped with cheese, tomatoes, and croutons, and then drizzled with creamy honey mustard. And then here we have a grilled chicken tender salad. Juicy grilled chicken on a bed of fresh greens topped with cheese, tomatoes, and croutons, drizzled with fat-free Italian dressing. So just by looking through those descriptions, you're able to choose a salad with the lowest calories, because this one's got crispy, breaded, and creamy right there. So we know that those are going to be excess calories. Over here, we have grilled, fat-free Italian dressing. So those oil-based dressings are always going to be lighter than the creamy-based dressing. And that is 1,150 calories for this one. And then this one is 640 calories. So you're getting the good nutrients, but with less calories, and it's going to be better for you. So we'll just look at a pasta dish real quick. This one's marinara. So freshly prepared marinara sauce made with sauteed garlic, simmered in tomatoes, and a blend of herbs served with penne pasta. Or pasta Alfredo. Rich and creamy Alfredo sauce made with Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, and garlic, served with penne pasta. So here are our terms once again. We have sauteed, simmered, and down here we have creamy Alfredo, some cheese, and heavy cream. So those all give it away, right? We've got 630 calories in pasta marinara, and then 1,270 calories. And you're gonna have a lot more nutrients in that marinara as well. So those are things to keep in mind. So if you're on the run and we're looking at fast food instead of like sitting down at a restaurant, calories can really add up when you get the larger sandwiches. So that's something to keep in mind. So this is a regular crispy chicken, and then there's the deluxe. Now, besides charging more for the deluxe, you're also adding a lot of calories. The crispy chicken has 450 calories, and then the deluxe has 600. It's a small difference, but it can really add up if that's something that you're getting. If it's the end of the day and you've already eaten throughout the day, that can push you over what you're looking to eat for calories throughout the day. Another way to avoid extra calories is to skip the meal deals and size upgrades. Calories can really add up. So if you choose a crispy chicken, you start at 450 calories. So we know the large will add the most amount of calories. But how many total calories do you think the small meal has? It includes the chicken sandwich, small order of fries, and a small cola. So the small has 1,036, the medium has 1,219, and then the large has 1,389. So going for the smaller one is obviously going to be best, but not getting the meal deal at all or just a sandwich is probably going to be even better. And we can't forget the dipping sauces. This is something you can also think about at home too. So which one do you guys think is going to have the most? We have the creamy again. Let's see, honey mustard, creamy ranch, and the barbecue. Which one do you guys think will have the most? Creamy. All right, let's take a look. 135 calories in the creamy, 89 in the honey mustard, and 45 in the barbecue. So once again, we've got that creamy in the description, so that kind of gives it away that it's going to be a lot more calories. When getting food on the go, besides looking for calorie information on the menu and considering the terms we just went over, we also have some other tips that can help make quick, informed, and helpful decisions about meals. Order an item from the menu instead of heading to the all-you-can-eat buffet. Resign from the clean your plate club. When you've eaten enough, leave the rest. Take that other half home. Even ask to package up half of the meal when it first arrives. So if you get a big sandwich like the one we see here, instead of saying, oh, I'll eat half of it and take half of it home, and then it's sitting in front of you and it tastes really good, so it's hard to stop eating it, ask them, hey, can I get a box for half of this right now? And then eat your half that you have in front of you. Or if it's a dish that you really want, like that Alfredo that we were looking at earlier, and you know it's going to be higher in calories, maybe share it with a friend or two. You can also try and choose a child-sized portion if possible, or choose the smallest size available, such as an appetizer-sized portion or a side dish instead of the entree. Skip the pre-meal freebies like the bread or chips and salsa that come to the table. When you start your meal with a salad, not one of the salads we just looked at, but one of like a side salad, you want to have things like skip the meat and the cheese. And then you start with a salad, and then you get that fiber from the salad, and that's going to help fill you up a little bit before everything starts coming. So that's a great way to start your meal, is with a salad. And ask for your salad dressing on the side, and try to opt for the oil and vinegar based ones. Ask for entrees to be made without sauces or butter on the bread. Load sandwiches or subs or pizza up with veggies rather than cheese and processed meats like pepperoni and sausage. And rethink your drink. Besides eating out calories, there can be a lot of hidden calories in what we drink as well. Choose water or order fat-free or low-fat milk or other drinks without added sugar, such as unsweetened teas. Now, putting some of these things into practice will help you make quick and healthy meals and snacks easier. They'll help you save money, eat healthy, and save time. And with all that free time, you can fit in some physical activity. Being healthy includes healthy eating and physical activity. So let's consider the recommendations for physical activity. Adults need a minimum of 2 hours and 30 minutes a week of moderate activity, like a brisk walk or biking on a flat surface. If you choose more vigorous activity, it should be at least an hour and 15 minutes. If you have children, they should be active at least 60 minutes a day. If you're not reaching the recommendations, it does not need to come all at once. You can reach your goals by just adding 10 minutes at a time. Spend some extra time engaging in active play with your kids or grandchildren. just 10 minutes. Or try yoga to build strength and agility. You can also join a sports league. There's lots of them around. Adults should include muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week. So you could try weight training, or you could just go for an exercise band or use your own body weight. Gardening and yard work can be an easy way to spend a little more time each day. Or go for a bike ride, or play with your dog to get your heart rate up. This is one of my favorites. Just pick up the pace while you're cleaning your house. Turn some music on and dance and move a little bit faster. As long as you're getting your heart rate up while you're cleaning your house, that's something you got to do anyways. You're getting your physical activity in. Or get a walk in, even if it's just 10 minutes on your lunch break, when you first get home, after dinner, wherever you can get it in. The goal is to gradually increase the time you spend being active until you reach your goals. And keep track of your activity on a device if that might help you. Or you can find an app on your phone, or just write down the amount of time you're spending each day. And if you're tracking it, you're more likely to make sure that you're reaching your goal. Just try to do like 30 minutes a day by the end of the day. All right, so now some things to think about if you want to set goals moving forward. You want to stock your pantry and freezer for quick and healthy meals. Use a crock pot. If you haven't used one before, go online and look up recipes, see what kind of recipes look healthy and yummy to you. Plan your snacks out. Any of these things, you can set goals each week and say, okay, this week, this is what I'm going to do. This week, this is what I'm going to do. When I go to a restaurant, I'm going to make healthier choices this week. Next week, maybe I'll work on stocking up my pantry a little bit at a time. Whatever it is that you're not doing right now, try to incorporate a little bit at a time. All right. Now, because I was not with you guys last week, I know that I had told you I was going to show you how to make stock from scratch. So give me 1 second here. There we go, stop share. Okay, I'm gonna pull up that recipe so you guys can watch that before we go. Then that'll be the last thing that we do here. So if anybody has questions while I'm pulling that up, now's the time to go ahead and throw that in the chat box, and then I can answer them. We can go over them. Okay. Here, this is the best one to go to. The one that was on there is kind of an old one. I'm going to give you the best one. That's a place to go to look for good recipes. There's a lot of cooking demos on there. There's just recipes, and then we do actual live cooking demos or recorded cooking demos on there too. And they're all of the recipes on there are low, or they're not expensive. They're easy to make. So that's the purpose of that whole website, is to do quick, easy, inexpensive meals that are healthy too. All right, I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the recording. All right, and this is making stock from scratch.
This is a SnapEd New York video presentation.
Hi everyone, it's Kim with Cornell Cooperative Extension. I work with our SnapEd program. With winter settling in on us and the cold weather here to stay for a little bit longer, it's soup season here in my house. Soups and stews are a great way to cook while you have time. You can make a big batch on Sunday, and then you have a nutritious meal that you can just heat up for a couple of more days. Soups and stews are a one-pot meal that you can throw together easily. With a wide variety of them out there, you can vary your veggies, vary your protein routine, and make half of your grains whole grains. Instead of buying stock, I make my own stock with vegetable scraps. So while I'm peeling my carrots or onion peels, I'll throw them all in a freezer bag and save them. It's a huge cost savings because all I have to do is take what I would normally throw away or compost and boil it on the stovetop for a rich and flavorful broth. Let's take a look and see what's in my bag. I have a couple of lettuce stems, onion peels, garlic peels, potato peels, basil stems. There's the neck to my Thanksgiving turkey. That reminds me, when it's not Thanksgiving, I'll plan ahead and cook a whole chicken if I know I'll be making stock soon and throw the bones in for more flavor. But if you prefer vegetarian stock, you can stick to just vegetable scraps and still get good flavor. There's a carrot topped with some peels. That's parsley that was starting to wilt in my refrigerator. If you have fresh veggies and herbs that are starting to wilt but haven't spoiled, throw them in the bag to add to this stock. No need to throw them away. Those were just a few things I have in my stock bag. There's also things like mushroom stems and the topped or green onions and celery. You want to be sure to wash your hands and make sure you're working on a nice clean surface. Just dump those bags of kitchen scraps in your pot and fill it with water. Once you've filled the pot, just place it on the stovetop and turn the heat up to high. Add some black pepper, salt, and if you have them, bay leaves or maybe some thyme. Those are both optional. Give it a good stir. And once it starts to boil, bring the heat back down to low and let it simmer for an hour or two. When you're ready, run the vegetable stock through a colander to strain it and save the stock. Now you can stick it in the freezer using ice cube trays. I have bigger blocks that I use, whatever works for you. This is a nice, rich stock. It's just as good or better than what you can buy at the store, and I made it with what you would normally throw away or compost. The base of a delicious soup or stew is a good stock like this one. Or, instead of water, I'll cook my rice and other grains in it too. It adds a lot of flavor and boosts the nutrients in whatever I use it for. I like to cook while I have time. So once I have a couple of freezer bags full, I'll make a huge batch of this stock. And then I put it into blocks and stick it in the freezer. And then when I want to make some rice or stew or soup, it's ready to go. This easy to make stock made with kitchen scraps is a great way to save time, save money, and eat healthy. And that's what we're here to help you do at SnapEd, because the right mix can make you healthier now and in the future. Check out snapedny.org for more recipes, tips, and tricks.
Thank you for joining.
All right, so that was it. Roberta, yes, those were onion peels. There's all kinds of peels in there, but onion peels is one of them. And yeah, I think I showed you during the first class, I just keep that big freezer bag, and when they're full or when I need to make some more, I just boil it on the stovetop. I can share that link too. I'll send that one to you too if you want to have that one. And the one for the turkey chili will be in there. So I have everybody's email because when you registered, I get your email. So I'll send that out so you guys can look at it and go on our website and check it out. You'll find even more of those cooking demos. So if there's no more questions, then, have a great weekend. And hopefully I get to see you guys next week. We're going to have one more in this series, and then we'll start another series next month. So have a good weekend, everybody. Bye-bye. You're welcome.